Hi, thanks for stopping by Angel Gilding. I'm Alex, and today we're going to be talking all about how you can use Baso powder to antique your commercially made mirror. Baso powder is part of our commercial mirror antiquing kit, so I've included that here, but it's also available individually in a variety of sizes. Now there's a couple points that are important to keep in mind anytime we're talking about antiquing. First and foremost is that if your mirror was very inexpensive, and especially if it says that it was made in Asia, it's possible that you have an aluminum mirror, not a silver mirror, and therefore the way that you antique it would be quite different. So for more information about the differences between those types of mirrors, be sure to check out our website. But today I know that I've got a silver mirror here. It's actually got a protective copper backing, which is pretty typical of a commercially made silver mirror. Another point to keep in mind with antiquing is a lot of people talk about using muriatic acid to create an antique effect. And although that can create a beautiful effect, it's very caustic and more dangerous to use. Each one of our antiquing compounds is much safer than muriatic acid. I will always still use my gloves when using them. And especially with Baso powder, it can be pretty stinky. It actually kind of has a smell of rotten eggs. So just be prepared for that. Work in a well-ventilated environment just for your own comfort. Finally, keep in mind, we're talking here about a general process. Antiquing is an art form, and so the way that you do it is going to vary. And what I'm showing you is just the general process of how to do it. Your results may be a little bit different, and you always want to make sure when doing an antiquing effect that you take notes on how much you applied, how long you left it, how much water, because each one of those is going to have an effect on how your end result looks. I've got to decide if I want to keep my copper backing or not. The antiquing effect will look different if I maintain my copper backing or if I take it off. So for today, I'm going to split the difference, do half of it with bare silver and half of it backed with the copper. And the way I do that is by using my copper remover. Put a little bit here in my disposable cup, and I'm going to use a cotton ball. It's always a good idea to use something very soft when using a remover on the mirror. And I'm just gently wiping to remove that copper. And I know that the copper is coming up because I can see that blue. That's pretty specialized to copper, that when that lifts off, it gives me a little bit of a blue color there. And I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off. Always want to rinse with the distilled water. Now I've got half of my mirror with this exposed silver, and the other half still has my copper backing. And I'm using my bench kit here. This is very handy. As you can see, I've gotten a lot of use out of mine. It supports the glass in a contained environment for me to do my antiquing. So this is pretty straightforward. It's got a sifter cap to it, so I'm just going to sprinkle over the surface. Now, if I wanted a gentle effect, I would just go very light with this. I think I'm going to go a bit more dramatic so you can really see the impact. Go. And once I feel like I've got enough on the surface, I'm going to mist it. Now this misting bottle is filled with distilled water. You always want to use distilled water in the antiquing process because it's going to give you a bit more of a controlled result than you might get with tap water. Okay. Once again, results will vary based on how much I'm misting. I'm pretty happy with that amount. Now I just let it sit. I like to leave it for about 5 minutes. The more you leave it, the more dramatic effect. The less you leave it, the more gentle the effect. Okay, so it has been just about 5 minutes now, and I'm going to go ahead and rinse that Baso powder off. Now, particularly with Baso powder, it can be a little tricky to rinse off, so you want to make sure you take your time and get all of it off of the surface, because anything left behind is just going to continue to antique your mirror in a way that you don't really want it to. Okay, I've got that really well rinsed off. All of my Baso is now rinsed away, and I can really see the effect, but keep in mind how it looks on the back of the mirror is going to be very different than the front of the mirror. So you always want to be checking the front of the mirror to see how it looks before proceeding with any other antiquing effects. On the part that had the copper removed, which is the right side here, I can see the antiquing effect is quite different than the area where I left the copper backing on. So that's a good thing to test out and see which one you prefer. I really do like the effect of Baso powder. I think it's a great antiquing option. So if you have any questions about this effect or ideas on other videos you'd like to see, be sure to leave those in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel to be notified of all of our future videos, and check out our website, angelgilding.com. Thanks.